Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Bills RB James Cook dominated Cowboys defense in a way no one had done so for a decade. The Dallas Cowboys lost in Buffalo on Sunday and did so by 21 points. Frankly, it should have been more, but the Cowboys managed to slide in a garbage-time touchdown at the end. That the Bills so thoroughly dominated the Cowboys is obviously concerning, but what is particularly frustrating about it is that their MVP-caliber quarterback did not play a huge role. Had Josh Allen made play after play after play, then stomaching the ordeal would at least have made sense in a logical way, but Allen only completed 7 passes. Think about that. It is cliché to play the "if I had told you" game, but if I really had told you that Allen would only hit a Bills pass catcher 7 times, then you and I would have assumed this was a route going the other way. But Allen's arm was not necessary on Sunday, as Bills running back James Cook turned Dan Quinn's defense into his own personal playground. Part of what has been so amazing about the Micah Parsons and Dan Quinn era within the Cowboys defense has been more than how they have sacked opposing quarterbacks and taken the ball away. Once upon a time, the Cowboys defense was a not-so-trustworthy group. In those days, the Cowboys had to score 30 points just to have a chance because the defense could not do anything functional. Those are days that nobody ever wants to go back to, but on Sunday we were strapped into the DeLorean, hit 88 miles per hour, and were taken back to that awful part of Cowboys history. Consider that Cook carried the ball 25 times and still managed over 7 yards per carry. This has not happened in an NFL game, at least 25 carries and 7 yards per carry, in over 2 years, and amazingly the last player to do it was James' older brother, Dalvin Cook. Like Dalvin then, James had over 220 yards from scrimmage in his team's outing. James had 221, Dalvin had 222, which is obviously a lot. And while impressive performances happen on a weekly basis in the NFL, this kind of thing has been pretty rare this season. Of course, it is not great to see Devon Achane's name there, considering that the Cowboys visit Miami this week, a game where Dallas is the underdog, but that is a problem for a few days from now. As far as it relates to Cook and his dominance against the Cowboys, while it may feel like Achane is destined to have his way himself, consider that this type of performance is rare, as indicated by it happening only 3 times this season, even against the Cowboys. While rare, when this kind of thing happens, it tends to leave a lasting imprint. The last time Dallas allowed a player to accumulate at least 220 yards from scrimmage against them, it was Detroit Lions wide receiver Calvin Johnson in 2013. None of this is going to make you, me, or anyone feel better, but there is some solace in the fact that what happened to the Cowboys was a historic thing. Solar eclipses don't exactly happen every day. Take those 2013 Cowboys as the example. Just 1 week after allowing over 600 total yards of offense, LOL, they buckled down and only allowed 393 to the Minnesota Vikings in a winning effort. Sunday was bad. But it was the kind of bad that is not exactly common. There's that. Micah Parsons sounds off on former players waiting for current players to fail. The Cowboys have long been anointed as America's team, resulting in many former players relishing when the 5-time Super Bowl-winning franchise struggles. Dallas, 10-4, despite owning one of the best records in the NFL this season, has taken its fair share of criticism due to a disappointing 3-4 road record. In Week 15, those road woes were again on display as Buffalo dismantled the NFC East power, 31-10. On the edge with Micah Parsons, the Cowboys' defensive leader sounded off on multiple TV analysts seemingly rooting for his team to fail. "Everyone just waits for the Cowboys to lose," said Parsons. "I saw multiple analysts, people who are fake analysts, who somehow got jobs on TV saying, 'There goes your boy.' Like, oh hell, there he is. That's the person we have been waiting for." It's almost to the point where it's like, it's almost sick. Parsons, who ranks 8th in the NFL in sacks, 12.5, this season, went on to criticize former players who go on TV and essentially root against current athletes to provide them with hot takes on national outlets. Former players are waiting for other current players to fail, so that way they can have something to talk about, added Parsons. It's not even to just get into names. I mean, I feel like, at this point, you kind of know who you are. And it's like, why do you want a person to lose so bad? It just seems a lot of people are just waiting for people to fail. Among the latest former NFL stars to openly criticize the Cowboys was Rob Gronkowski, who called the Cowboys soft and not mentally tough after the club's blowout loss to the Bills. In addition to the four-time Super Bowl champion, former San Francisco defensive back Dante Whitner publicly bashed the inconsistent Super Bowl contenders after the 49ers' 42-10 win over Dallas in Week 5. The Cowboys will again go on the road in Week 16 to take on the AFC East leading Dolphins on Christmas Eve at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time at Hard Rock Stadium. Atlanta Falcons release CB Casey Hayward after one season. Cornerback Casey Hayward was released by the Atlanta Falcons on Friday after one injury-plagued season. Hayward was midway through a 2-year deal with the Falcons, who saved $5 million in cap space by releasing the two-time Pro Bowler. The team will incur a $2 million dead cap hit. The Falcons brought in Hayward, who grew up in Georgia, to pair with star cornerback A.J. Terrell. But Hayward lasted only 6 games before a season-ending shoulder injury. He had 1 interception, deflected 3 passes, and recorded 17 tackles for the Falcons. The 33-year-old was a Pro Bowler with the Chargers in 2016 and 2017. He also has played for the Packers and Raiders over his 11-year career. Hayward became expandable after the Falcons traded for cornerback Jeff Okudah, the number 3 overall pick by Detroit in 2020, and signed Mike Hughes in free agency. The team also could pursue a cornerback in next week's draft. The Dallas Cowboys are interested in hiring Casey Hayward. And you fan, what do you think of the Casey Hayward situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.